Sayyid Ahmed from Malaysia writes, and he says that he has heard conflicting reports about dyeing the hair for men. Dyeing the hair for men. What is my opinion about this issue?
وما أرسلنا من قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون.
So dyeing the hair with henna or with other natural dyes that don't imitate your natural hair color. Now, the hadith mentions black and the books of fiqh mention black because the black color of hair was the default color for the Middle East. And so when the books of fiqh mention black is the controversy, what they mean is the hair that you naturally have. So if your hair is already yellow or blonde or red or whatever it is, then the controversy would come, can you use a dye that is matching your original hair color? Henna, which is reddish in nature, you know that it's not your skin color, not your hair color. So it is sunnah to dye the hair with henna or with other natural dyes that are clearly not the original color of your hair. Our Prophet ﷺ would regularly dye his beard with henna. And we're also familiar with the fact that, the Sharia does say that during times of, war and confrontation, that definitely the army should look powerful and young, and whatever that takes, dyeing your hair, that's also something that is good. The question though is, outside of those situations, is it permissible for a man in particular to dye your hair or your beard black, meaning the color that it originally is, if your hair color is black? And the reason why there's a controversy is because of a famous hadith and incident of the seerah, that the Prophet ﷺ greeted the father of Abu Bakr, ibn Abi Quhafa, and he said to Abu Quhafa he said to Abu Quhafa when he saw him, his hair was completely white. He said to the people in the entourage that take him back and change the white, but avoid black. وَاجْتَنِبُوا السَّوَادِ. Avoid black. Now, based on this, which is an authentic hadith, that's where the scholars differed. Is that avoidance for a particular reason? Or is it unconditional? Is that avoidance obligatory, or is it recommended to avoid? Okay, all of these are controversies, and again, because this is the short round, I'll just quickly go over that you have three opinions in this regard. The Shafi'i school was the strictest, and if you're from Malaysia, I'm assuming you're following the Shafi'i school. The Shafi'i school said that it is haram for a man to dye his beard or his hair black, even if it's outside of any, you just don't do that. The majority position, which is the Hanafi, the Maliki, and the Hanbali school, they said that it is not haram, but it is better to avoid. It is makruh. You're not sinful as long as everybody said there's no deception. Now the deception here really comes that, the scholars give the primary example. This is before the ages of IDs and knowing your birthdays and whatnot. When you go and propose, right, you are judged on your outer appearance. And your age is basically derived from your looks. So if you're 60 years old and you pretend you're 35, okay, this is a type of deceit. Nowadays, by the way, it's almost impossible to do because there's IDs and birthdays and whatnot. But my point being, back in those days, there was this notion of deception. You hide your date, you hide your age by your appearance. Clearly, any deceit in the Sharia is not allowed. Man ghashana falaysa minna. Whoever deceives us is not of us. Whoever cheats us is not of us. Suppose there's no cheating. Suppose you just want to do it for the sake of, looking more handsome, looking younger. You're already married, or you're not looking to get married, or whatever it might be. So the Shafi'i said it is haram. The Hanafis, Malikis, and Hanbali said that it is not haram, but it's better to avoid. It's makruh, and makruh means it's really, and some said it is strong makruh, but the majority said it is makruh, meaning you are not sinful. By makruh, I'm not meaning to trivialize. I'm simply saying you are not sinful, but they discouraged it. They said it's better not to do. And a third opinion said that it is completely permissible, mubah. There is not even karaha in it, and they based this on the fact that many of the Sahaba and Tabi'un, it is reported that they would dye their hair black. Ibn al-Qayyim reports in his Zad al-Ma'ad, Ibn al-Qayyim says, صح عن الحسن والحسين رضي الله عنهما أنهما كانا يخطبان بالسواد. It is authentically narrated that the two grandsons of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hassan and Hussein, they would dye their beards with black. And Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas would dye his beard with black. This is reported in At-Tabarani. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, the famous Ashara Mubashshara, he would dye his beard with black. So if it was something that the Sahaba thought to be haram, they wouldn't go public and everybody's seeing and nobody's making inkar or saying no to them. So inshallah ta'ala, look, Allah knows best, but it's not haram, or else the Sahaba would not have done it, but it is, maybe it's makruh, especially if there's an element of deceit involved, then for sure it becomes sinful and haram. If there is no deception involved, if you avoid it, it is better, and if you do it, it is not sinful. There is no doubt that the one who avoids these things out of piety, it will be more rewarded. Nonetheless, in the end of the day, it is not sinful. By the way, this is for a man. As for a woman, inshallah, the correct position is that married women, for sure, if they want to appear beautiful for their husbands, the Sharia actually encourages, we want women to look beautiful for their husbands. We want them to make up and put on whatever might be, and the hair and whatever, so that their husbands find them beautiful and attractive. And so the ruling that we're talking about is for men's beards and whatnot. And even then, as we said, the majority is that it is makruh, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Inshallah, we'll see you all next week. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا من أجبت دعاء نوح فانتصر وحملته في فلكك المشحون، يا من أحال النار حول خليله روحا وريحانا بقولك كن.